What's wrong? Are you scared? Don't worry. The man without fear is here in issue 2. Y'all followed up on the lead that Vlad's son gave him, but the office was empty completely. So T'Challa's still trying to figure out how to stop this new crime wave and this new crime lord. And he ends up hearing a gentleman robbing this lady. Because as he said, in order to get to the big crimes, he has to stop the small ones. T'Challa surprises them and tells him, I think it's time to end this charade. And the guy tells him, I can't believe it actually worked. Nikolai tried to trick Black Panther once again. Nikolai tells him to shoot. Guns go kaput. T'Challa tells him, I took the liberty of killing the charges in your weapons while y'all were on break. And the henchmen run away, scared. T'Challa gets a hold of Nikolai and tells him, I imagine you recall our last conversation. Let's have another one. I know the perfect place. Hanging Nikolai upside down, he tells him, Daredevil would not let you drop. He has a code. I too have a code, and I've sent more men to the deaths than I can count. This is a one last warning for you and your father. Because the next time I let you drop, it won't be over a ledge. Nikolai goes back home, bruised and beaten by Black Panther. Nikolai's brother lets him know, man, you got messed up again? As his mother tells his little brother to stop teasing, she takes Nikolai straight to Vlad. Tells Vlad that this is the second time. You gotta figure out what he's up to. Vlad talks to Nikolai and tells him, make for yourself clean, then we'll talk about what to do next. Vlad sees that T'Challa's pretty smart, but T'Challa's bad for business. One thing that he cannot lose is business. But from the people he had to report on his appearances, he sees that this gym is a very center point altogether. On the conclusion that he must work out a lot because he has no powers. And to set a crime right then and there at the main base of operations for T'Challa, quote unquote, that is going to actually set up a bank heist team to go and steal the money and then make it seem like it was a botched experiment or a botched crime. Nikolai asks, but what if they actually pull it off and rob the bank without knowing? Vlad tells him, then we have money from the bank. Been thought, thinking about the innocent people who have died, whether they're husbands, mothers, fathers, ordinary people, have all died to this crime. No longer trying to understand what happened, but all that matters is stopping it. Y'all also reflects on Mr. Narkataran, that, he wanted to teach his son how to fight back and fight the bullies at school, but now he's dead. Neighbor Iris is helping the son out. Talks about how she works for social services, and even though Alex isn't her case, she's still going to help him to pack things up. All sympathizes with Alec and tells him that he understands he's lost both his father and mother. Zanar Katarin was a good man from what you could tell. Iris tells him, I don't like to speak ill of the will, but Alec's father was not the man you took him for. I saw Alec's file. No one proved it, but his case workers suspected the bruises came from his father, not bullies at school. Stephen can see the pain and suffering within T'Challa's face. Tells him if he ever needs to talk, let her know anytime. But T'Challa has to go. Back at the Devil's Kitchen diner, tell him that there's a guy who's in there looking for him. Big scary guy came in, ate some lunch, and started asking him some questions. You couldn't see his face because he wore a hood. And he's waiting in your office, even though we told him he couldn't go. T'Challa tells him, don't worry. You guys go back to work and I'll handle this. Before he begins to talk to one and the only Luke Cage. I'll ask him, how did you know where to find me? Luke tells him, hey, look, if I can get Steve Rogers on the damn phone anytime I want, that means I get all types of good intel from anywhere I need to. T'Challa asks him, what do you want, Luke? Luke tells him, it's pretty cold, but I get your filling in for Matt while he's figuring out what's going on in his head. But I want to let you know that I got your back. Say the word, I'll get my team on it, and we'll help you do whatever needs to be done. But T'Challa tells him, no thank you. Luke seems irritated. What's with the attitude? Did someone do a solid for you? T'Challa tells him he truly appreciates what he's doing for him, but he has to do this completely alone. I'm here to discover who I am without the power of Wakanda, State, Vibranium, or Panther God. Tells him that's cool and all, but you can understand there are people getting killed in Hell's Kitchen like crazy. I did what he did because it was the right thing to do. He wasn't trying to prove how big and tough he was. Luke tells him, you do what you gotta do, and I suggest you do it quickly. Because if you can't do it and won't accept help, someone else is going to do it for you soon. He's about telling him one last thing. Your Musaka sucks. As he leaves the diner. On that night, the heist team is trying to do whatever they can to get to the bank, but some alarm was tripped and the police show up. T'Challa is sitting with Sophie and Brian as they discuss some personal things, and then they notice that the police pull up. T'Challa tells them to sit tight, he's going to see what's going on. The bank heist team begins to leave. Vlad shows up, asks, "Boss, what do we do?" Tells him, "I can get some out, but not all. 4 is too many," as he takes out 2 people from the heist team. Those 2 others, "Don't worry, I'll make a distraction for you." He charges up a lane pole and throws at the police. It explodes right in their face, causing damage to the other buildings surrounding them. And the heist team end up kidnapping Sophie and Brian and taking them up to the roof as Vlad prepares his trap for T'Challa. If right on cue, T'Challa shows up and tells him to set the hostages down. He tells him, "I can rescue them with or without killing you. The decision is yours." But then a weapon comes charging at T'Challa as he dodges it. That's impressed by the quick reflexes. He thought he had caught him by surprise. I tell T'Challa, "I don't doubt you are strong, but if you touch me, I will send enough heat and electricity to your body and you'll be like a cooked turkey." Distracting T'Challa, Vlad ends up killing the other heist members and they end up dropping the other hostages. He asks him, "They said Daredevil was a man without fear. What about you?" As T'Challa dies for the hostages. With quick reflexes and great agility, he ends up saving both of them. They get back up to the roof. Vlad is there waiting on them, and he throws another charged up weapon at them as one of the hostages, Brian, drops. He drops all the way to his death. We'll see you guys in issue 3 of Black Panther, Man Without Fear.